Good job too at that, and making sure that the peas looks nice and rosy and fresh, because really she brings some good perspectives to the sector. Ambassador Rocky Mead, CD, JP, PhD, or newly minted too, Permanent Secretary at the Office of the Prime Minister. And again, just like Minister, he's taking it on so well and doing it with good precision. Miss Amy Talcott. Amy, did I get the last name right? Tashko. There you go, Tashko. Hi, Amy. Good morning. We met some time ago, and you're taking on to Jamaica and to this job very, very well, too. Thank you for being here. Please give her a round of applause. Brigadier Markland. I'm not seeing Brigadier. Oh, my goodness. Well, all right. We're going to be represented by Colonel? Colonel Elon Clark. Good morning, Colonel, and thank you so much for being here. Mr. Kevin Aston, Regional Lead, Cyber Lead for the Caribbean from the British High Commission. Kevin, good morning. Well, look how I get myself in trouble now. I don't know if you understood that, but I'm about to get myself in a bit of trouble because this looks German, Austrian, Miss Janelle Van Ganvegel. Did I get it right, Janelle? Almost? Say it again for us.
In Dutch, we say Van Glanenwegel.
Could you say that a little louder for me?
I'll tell you, my Jamaican husband says Van Glanenwegel.
Thank you. Van Glanenwegel. There you go. All right. Thank you so much, Janelle, for being with us. Janelle is the country representative in Jamaica for the Organization of American States. Patrick, Mr. Patrick Linton. Patrick, where are you at? There. Oh, I told the good-looking people to come forward and you stay at the back. Mr. Patrick Linton, the Director of Cyber Investigation and Risk Management at the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And a man who's been working hard from morning. I don't think he's quite seated yet, but we'll acknowledge him because he does have a few words to say to us later on. Lieutenant Colonel retired, and I tell him that that can't be true. As much as I tell the ambassador that it can't be true about retired. But Lieutenant Colonel retired, Godfrey Sterling, the head of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, is here as well, and he'll be speaking with us a little later on. All right, that's as much as you'll hear from me. This month is Cybersecurity Month. This week really is a culmination of many areas of looking at how we deal with our cyber response. The theme for our activities, responding today, securing our future, absolutely critical. I think a lot of times we assume that our people know what we're doing in terms of building a backbone in the technology and making sure that they're secure. And you know, our task is to ensure that in as much as they see the manual kinds of activities that they do, that they're comfortable and assured that the security in terms of the technology base that we're rolling out is definitely foolproof and that they can trust that. Ahead of all of the discussions, may I invite our Permanent Secretary, who has to go to a retreat very shortly, so we know we're going to be very efficient with time, Ambassador Rocky Mead, to bring greetings. Ambassador.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies. I would like to welcome you all to today's event, particularly Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon, our Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for skills and digital transformation, and all our partners who are already recognized, all of you with interest in cybersecurity, welcome. The evolution of technology is something that is very important for the advancement of humanity, to ensure that we're functioning as effectively and efficiently as we can. And these advancements provide opportunities not just for those who want to do better for humanity, but also those who want to have financial gains by illegal means, and those who want to have a negative ideological impact. So whatever your goal, you're not going to sit by and have great technology available and avoid using it. So we must not necessarily bemoan the fact that we need cybersecurity, but that it's a reality. It will come with the territory, and we need to be prepared. In the same way that we have never seen a lovely rose without thorns. That doesn't mean we don't appreciate the rose or wish for roses without thorns. We just know don't grab it too aggressively because it has thorns, and we can appreciate the rose. So digital transformation and accepting that this is the age is important, and we must accept that it will necessarily come with the challenges. And I gave the rose example, but this happens with everything else. Water gives life and takes life. Fire can give and take life. You know, so there are many, many examples to show that we shouldn't bemoan the reality. We just need to embrace and be prepared for it and mitigate the impact. But as we take advantage of what digitization and cyber offers us, we can see that there's been significant rise in cybercrime incidents. I understand that there's over 60% increase in terms of what we have been monitoring and discovering. And I word it that way in particular because sometimes, you know, many times we are not even aware of some of the things that are happening. There are some entities that will not report challenges because of the impact on their image. They'll just quietly deal with the matter. So 60% is what we know about and increasing. Also, the types of attacks are increasing as well. And so all the cyber incident response teams around the world have this duty to monitor and respond and help us to continue to have, you know, to function, have business continuity. And it's really important that we've had this month and this day to remind everyone about the importance of it. The Office of the Prime Minister is taking this matter very seriously. And if you have any doubts, you just need to note the fact that the Prime Minister decided to take this responsibility of digital transformation and cybersecurity into the Office of the Prime Minister itself by creating a new portfolio. And we have the Honorable Minister here to speak to us a little later about that. But sometimes we talk about people putting their money where their mouths are, and certainly the Prime Minister is demonstrating that this is important. He's not just saying it. He has moved the responsibility in his ministry, and he has selected the most dynamic person he could find with an interest in the area to drive it. And also, the CERT has been moved from MSET to OPM. We're still trying to pull it all together, but I just want you to understand that I see my responsibility as making all these pieces work together. So the PM has given a policy directive. My job is to help pull it all together and make sure it works and support all the elements. And if you speak with Colonel Sterling, he'll tell you that it's not quite achieved perfection yet. We're still trying to work through all the bits and pieces. But we are seized with the importance, especially with the PM putting his own name behind it. And so you have my commitment today that we will continue to make this work. I want to particularly appreciate our partners today who are here because, of course, even if we could afford to venture down this path alone, it would not be good sense to do so, because it makes sense to share experiences. Those who are trying to use the digital environment for financial gain and ideological impact don't recognize borders. And so even if we could all afford to work in silos, it would not make good sense for us to work in silos. So I really appreciate the partners who are here today to share in this event and as a symbol of your wider collaboration with us on these activities. So with that said, I'd like to say that I'm going to hope that we have an excellent event today. Naomi did mention that I have a number of, well, she mentioned one of my competing activities. I'm also, while you think you're seeing me here, I'm actually in a National Security Council meeting chaired by the Prime Minister as well. And I have, yes, and I have the retreat. But of course, as I said, we put our actions where it is important, and I could not miss being here with you to at least say a few words and to say that you have my commitment that whatever the Office of the Prime Minister can do and is within my purview, that support will be there, and I hope you'll have a very successful event. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, PS Mead. I have to get used to the PS Mead component. You know, the mere fact that PS Mead mentioned that while he's here, he's not so much here as well because there's a meeting here, but he's here physically, but he's also at the other meetings. It shows really and truly the power of the technology, but the security of that technology as well that we're talking about. So that's very, very important. And the importance of partnership. You know, apart from communication, I really and truly, with all my being, believe that partnership is critical to the survival of humankind. And because we are critically seized of partnership, we know we can't do it alone. So we're happy to have with us our partners. The first who will speak, Mr. Kevin Aston, Regional Cyber Lead for the Caribbean at the British High Commission. Kevin?
Good morning, everybody. Okay. So Senator, the Honourable Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Ambassador Home Secretary Mead has just left. Brigadier Lloyd, I believe, is an absent, but Colonel, nice to see you. Lieutenant Colonel Sterling, he's somewhere in the room. Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, all protocols, I believe, being observed. Thank you very much indeed for having me today. So on behalf of the British High Commission, and especially here representing the High Commissioner Judith Slater, who unfortunately couldn't make this morning, but she sends her very best wishes for a very successful event on Jamaica's 8th Cybersecurity Day. I would also personally like to extend a note of thanks to Lieutenant Colonel Sterling for his head of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team for his personal invitation for me to come here and speak this morning and to be part of today's proceedings. I had the pleasure of Colonel Sterling's company last week when we both attended the OAS's excellent cybersecurity symposium in the Bahamas, along with colleagues from MOCA too. And this major event brought together thought leaders from government and industry across Latin America and the Caribbean to share knowledge on the latest cyber developments, ideas and approaches. And it was a great success all round, with much to be learned from the sessions. And the fact that Colonel Sterling stayed in a much nicer hotel than I is not something that I shall hold against him for very long. But I did sit and listen to Colonel Sterling as he took part in a fascinating discussion alongside his counterparts from Trinidad, Guyana and the Bahamas, the only 4 operational computer security incident response teams throughout the English-speaking Caribbean at the moment. And these leaders exchanged some profound insights into improving cooperation and information exchange, the skills and experience of the cyber workforce needed for the future, ideas how to donor partners could better collaborate with one another, and much more besides. And it was great to hear these sort of 4 musketeers of the Caribbean cyber defence landscape speak with such passion and conviction in their desire to make their respective nations and the region as a whole much more cyber secure. And as we know, there are big challenges ahead for all nations, both large and small, as we collectively tackle the scourge of ransomware, the enormous potential of artificial intelligence as both an enabler for cybersecurity, as well as being a tool in the arsenal of threat actors too, alongside the heavy responsibility of how to educate or cyber educate, I should say, our citizens to allow them to better protect themselves. However, it's also great to see that Jamaica and the wider Caribbean have such strong champions of the cause, and it inspires real confidence for the road ahead. So having had the privilege of living here in Jamaica for the last couple of years, I've had some visibility of the increased importance that the government has placed on growing and developing a truly holistic cyber ecosystem. And as Jamaica advances and it harnesses the transformative effects of digital and online capabilities, improving services to the citizen and driving investments and innovations, we must all remain alert to the threats and risks that are forever continually evolving. And for this reason, Cybersecurity Awareness Day is a great opportunity to not only remind the community at large of best practice as it relates to working and living online, but to also celebrate how far the country has come in developing national capabilities that you can be really proud of. And so, building on the successes of Jamaica's 2015 strategy, I look forward to seeing the progression and ambition that the new updated strategy will show. In the UK's own National Cyber Strategy of 2022, we talked about a whole-of-society approach, and I believe that I see that exact same thinking here in Jamaica, with the importance of the private sector, academia, civil society, international partners, and the Jamaican citizen, all having a valuable contribution to make to creating that resilient cyber ecosystem that's obviously needed. And yes, of course, cybersecurity's essential role is defensive, to protect against the malicious activity and to respond to those attacks that unfortunately sometimes get through. However, cybersecurity can also be a prosperity enabler, a robust national approach to security being attractive for businesses looking to develop secure e-platforms, whilst consumers are also becoming more and more selective of those companies who offer the best protection for their data and finances. And the world also has a shortage of literally millions of jobs in the cybersecurity industry. And this represents a huge opportunity for schools, colleges and universities to train up the next generation of professionals to take on much needed, highly skilled and often well-paid jobs. Mine might not be one of them, but that's beside the point. The point still stands. Of course, this also has significant economic benefits for the country, a cyber-literate workforce being in great demand by all manner of businesses and organisations. Creating that workforce of the future will bring enormous social and economic benefits to Jamaica, and it starts by raising awareness through events just like this. So from the UK government, I wish you every continued success on Jamaica's Cybersecurity Awareness Day. We're proud to partner with you, and we're excited to see the next phases in your national cybersecurity journey. Thank you very much indeed.
Kevin, thank you ever so kindly, and thank you for the partnership of your organization and the British High Commission. You know, the thing that Kevin said that I think resonates with our audience, especially the streaming audience, is that cybersecurity is a prosperity enabler. If we, Minister, we're gonna pare it down and ensure that we dissect it well enough so that every aspect of our Jamaican society can fully understand how critical it is and how it can really and truly empower and enable you to become the best version wherever your talents lie, wherever your ambitions are. Certainly, you know, cybersecurity will bring you there as well. Thank you so much, Kevin, for that. And now let's hear from another of our very important partners, Miss Amy. Let me go again. Miss Amy Tashko. I was trying to get the Tashko right. There you go. Miss Amy Tashko. She's the charge affairs of the American Embassy in Jamaica. But Amy is fairly new. Just a few months now, Amy? About a year. It feels like you've been doing this for a little while, though, because when I spoke to you earlier this year, you were just taking on to the job and wanting to make sure that you know every nook and cranny of Jamaica. Oh, sorry, every corner of Jamaica. I said nook and cranny, and I forgot that I'm not necessarily talking to an all Jamaican audience. But thank you, Amy, for being here, and thank you so much for your partnership. Please come, give her a round of applause, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam MC, for that introduction and for your presentation of all of the distinguished guests here today. So I'll say all protocols observed. I will say good morning to Minister Morris Dixon. I'm incredibly pleased to see such a great crowd here. And members of the media, of course. So good morning, everybody. On behalf of the United States, I am really pleased to be here to celebrate the culmination of Jamaica's National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I am pleased to see so many of the partners of Jamaica here today, which reflects the importance of today's topic and our joint commitment to address the challenges that come with new technologies. Our increasingly digital and online world brings with it immense promise and opportunity, prosperity, but also dangers. Enabling the development of a strong digital economy and online government services is key to unlocking Jamaica's full economic potential for Jamaica's citizens today and in the future. But in this increasingly digital world, cybersecurity plays a critical role in every sector of society, from educating children on how to stay safe online, to preventing financial scamming, to protecting national security. In recent years, we have seen cyber threats become ever more frequent and severe, with global cyber attacks by malign actors who violate intellectual property rights, spread disinformation, and threaten critical national infrastructure. As such, a robust cybersecurity ecosystem is vital for a digital economy, society, and to preserve a strong democracy. We commend the government of Jamaica for using this platform to raise awareness of the importance of good cyber practices so that individuals and businesses can protect themselves online. We also applaud you on recent steps taken to prioritize cybersecurity in Jamaica, including the appointment of Senator the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon as Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for skills development and digital transformation. I do love how you don't have a portfolio, but you have a portfolio. That's one of my favorite things about the ministers without portfolio. Very important portfolio at that. The U.S. government is deeply committed to partnering with Jamaica, a trusted ally and leader in the Caribbean, in its efforts to develop a robust, secure, and inclusive digital ecosystem and economy. Just last month, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, began providing technical assistance to support the Office of the Prime Minister in establishing a national cybersecurity authority. Additionally, USAID has made a $3.5 million grant available that will serve as further investment in Jamaica's cybersecurity ecosystem. Moreover, responding to cyber crimes when they occur is just as important as having strong cybersecurity protections. To support Jamaica's law enforcement efforts to prosecute cybercrime, the U.S. State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement will be providing $2 million US in grant financing, and we look forward to launching those partnerships soon as well. Furthermore, the U.S. Department of Defense, through the U.S. Southern Command, is partnering with Jamaica Defense Force to build Jamaica's cyber defense capabilities as well. So we have a lot going on. These are just a few examples of our commitment to supporting a strong and secure digital economy and society in Jamaica. And I think it highlights how important we think that this issue is. And as mentioned before, I know that other partners in the room feel the same way. While National Cybersecurity Awareness Month is coming to a close, we must always remember that cyber threats persist all year long and to remain vigilant about malign actors in the digital space. Again, I am so pleased to be able to join you in celebrating National Cybersecurity Day. We look forward to continuing our robust U.S.-Jamaica partnership and, in collaboration with other donors here today, supporting Jamaica to develop vibrant and secure technology ecosystems that can seize the promise of a digital economy and society. Thank you very much.
Amy, thank you. I'm sorry if I was clapping too loud. My hands are wired for announcements. So I hear the announcement. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Grant funding, and we look forward to the launch later this year or next year, but soon. We'll just say soon. All right, thank you so much. Now, a very critical sector that I think many people in Jamaica, especially, aren't used to hearing the JDF being part of the cybersecurity world. We kind of think of the traditional role of the military, but in 2023, it's absolutely critical. And I saw too where the JDF is not just doing the regular, as they would say, but doing the most. All right, this audience is a little too older to understand doing the most. All right. They're doing the most in terms of just ensuring that they strengthen our cybersecurity backbone and infrastructure. And here to talk a little bit with us about it is a very young colonel. So no bother with the retired later, Elon. Colonel Elon Clark, who will speak with us. Elon?
Thank you very much. Firstly, Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris-Dixon, head of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As was mentioned in the program, the acting Chief of Defense Staff was meant to address us today, but as with the ambassador, he's also at that meeting that the ambassador is also at while he's here. So it gives me great pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the acting Chief of Defense Staff at this opening ceremony for the National Cybersecurity Awareness Day 2023. Special commendation to the Jamaica CERT for the events and the awareness exercise held under the theme, Respond Today, Secure Our Future. The month of October being recognized globally as Cybersecurity Awareness Month is a testament to the importance of digital security and data protection. As nations become integrated and interconnected, cybersecurity threats transcend borders and can devastate an entire country or the global market. Therefore, Jamaica, being a responsible nation, must join this global initiative to advance cybersecurity awareness. Recognizing this importance, I must speak to the Jamaica Defense Force and what the Jamaica Defense Force is doing, as was highlighted by Naomi. The Jamaica Defense Force has included cybersecurity as its fourth domain of operations, with the frontier being citizen protection in this digital age. That is significant. Some of the key areas that we are focused on is cybersecurity efforts relating to data protection, building resilience against cyber threats, protecting mission-critical resources, and compliance to national legal and regulatory frameworks. Cybersecurity is a strategic priority and sees us building capacity to train personnel and acquire requires competence. Amy had mentioned the involvement with the DoD and the JDF Defense Force in building this capacity. And what we hope to achieve is developing the capabilities necessary to function effectively in the cyber domain. And this includes, but not limited to, security operations and cyber defense. One significant outcome of our cybersecurity efforts is the establishment of the Caribbean Institute for Cyber Science, which aims to engage military, law enforcement personnel, and civilians in enhancing cybersecurity training. And this is part of our intent to fill the cybersecurity human resource deficit, which was mentioned by Kevin, both locally and regionally. This approach also aligns with the objectives of building capacity as outlined in the National Cybersecurity Strategy. Recently, actually just last week, the Institute of Cyber Science hosted its inaugural Cyberthon in observance of National Cybersecurity Awareness Week. And this event saw secondary and tertiary level students, members of the MDAs, other partners, both governmental and private, participate in various activities that was geared towards inspiring innovative solutions to cybersecurity threat. Overall, personally, I believe this event was well received, and I must thank the Jamaica CERT and our other partners for its support. The JDF remains committed to to working with the government to advance Jamaica's Vision 2030 National Development Plan. In so doing, the force will remain vigilant and proactive in addressing Jamaica's emerging cyber threats and adopt strategies to meet the ever-changing security challenges of this modern era. In closing, I join the Jamaica cyber incident. I hope that we weren't hacked by doing this. I joined JaCIRT in emphasizing that cybersecurity is everybody's business. Today's stakeholders are critical in building cyber resilience in all of our virtual interactions. The series of events in observation of the month demonstrate the collective drive to secure the national cybersecurity landscape. As we culminate the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we hope that all Jamaicans will join in this collaborative effort for a safer tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Colonel Clark, you know, he's a real soldier, you know, never flinched at all, which is good. So I love the rain, and the rain produces a little bit of wind every now and again, and the wind is picking up here. So our apologies, we'll just get something to bolster and hold down our banners. Thank you so much, Colonel Clark, for your presentation. You know, Ambassador Meade mentioned that there's been an increase, a 60% increase in cyber crimes. Crucial, because we're also operating on another frontier that we have to extend, you know, the knowledge base and the capacity. And somebody who, when you call him name, you know, I think that it should drive the fear of God, especially in those who peddle in scamming. Because it's crucial that they must realize, especially those who would want to avail themselves in alternative activities, that they must know that law enforcement is 10 steps, not 1 or 2, but 10 steps ahead of them. So I'm absolutely pleased this morning that Mr. Patrick Linton, who is the Director of Cyber Investigations and Risk Management at the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, is here with us to talk with us a little bit more about the matter. Mr. Linton. He sat at the back, you know, and I tell him, all the good-looking people come to the front. Come on now, Patrick.
Good morning. Good morning. So, in observing the protocol, I must say greetings to all from MOCA. I am here today on behalf of the Director General of MOCA, Colonel Desmond Edwards, to generally share what happens or what is happening on the threat landscape. It is oftentimes said that the problem lies between the keyboard and the chair, and which is the human element. So the fact that we have come to realize, and it's a school of thought, and the fact that we realize that that's the weakness, it is also the strength, and it underlines the need to pay closer attention to upskilling the common person. Anyone who uses a computer, who does any form of interaction with technology, must be made aware. One of the plans that we're pursuing at MOCA is to institutionalize cybersecurity, to get everybody switched on from the primary school to academia. And in so doing, we have with us our communications department at MOCA, and they drive the effort of, you know, going into the schools, they go into the churches and all the different social groups, just to ensure that we are all cyber safe, getting switched on. One of the things that we have observed as, you know, incident responders, and we collaborate closely with JaCIRT, JCF, eGov, and all the players here who I have actually seen in the cyber arena, is that Jamaica is under continuous attacks. So when we look at a general mapping, they are bombarding us continuously. We have at least provided some form of resilience. Some of the measures that we have implemented, we have been able to mitigate some of these attacks. Some of them have actually been successful, and our aim really is to reduce these attacks. We can't alleviate them completely. We can reduce them by getting our collaborative efforts in place, We were asked recently, and one of the things that we realized is that government has been under attack, like a lot for the past maybe year. And some of the weaknesses that we have seen, having been responding to these incidents, is just inherent weaknesses, not necessarily in the human element and the technology, but also just a lack of, the general policies. So we are working collaboratively to get that in place. We were asked recently from MOCA to look at the general landscape for government, to look at their cybersecurity infrastructure, and we were being asked to, I think we have like about 200 and something different ministries, and we have actually started conducting assessments on these. And if we are able to reduce the attack surface in government, corporate, then we should have at least being able to minimize, cyber threats down the road. Not tomorrow, but down the road we're trying to lessen it. So from MOCA, we're driving the collaborative efforts. We're driving institutionalizing cybercrimes awareness. We are also in the universities teaching forensics. We are also offering assistance, consultative assistance to different areas, and we also collaborate with our partners. I see the US here, I see UK and Canada. We reach out to them a lot of times when there's a need to have law enforcement in a lot of these hacking cases. Sometimes we see brand new attacks. Every now and then there's something just brand new that we are not aware of, and we reach out to them to say that they have seen these attacks, fairly new. So I said it's because it's emerging. These threats are emergent. Every day there's a new one that we have to grapple with. But we are trying to build out a database of attacks so we can at least know the common indicators of compromise and attacks, and share this kind of information among ourselves. So today, really, I want to bring to you that message, MOCA's stance in the fight against cybersecurity threats, the awareness for cybercrimes, and in the investigative aspect, we are also prosecuting many cases. There are also a lot of local players from academia that we have been arresting, and they're not stopping. They are leaving university and they are brilliant. And some of them will look for the easy way out. I want to leave with you this, very importantly. They are saying that we law enforcement can make mistakes all the time. The criminals only need to make the mistake one time. And we have seen many mistakes being made one time, and as a result, between MOCA and JCF, we have been able to arrest a lot of these players. They continue, but with the driving force and the collaboration, we'll be able to reduce, these kind of attacks in our space, really. So that's what I want to leave with you today, without getting into the technical reads of cybersecurity. We were also at the Cyberthon that JDF put on, and we're really glad for that. It's good to know that we've seen it abroad. Cyberthon, hacking campaign, and so. MOCA was there, we won, of course. We won. But I think that was a good event because we had persons from academia, we had them from corporate Jamaica, and they really loved that event because it's gamification. Persons get into the whole gaming and reward kind of thing. So that's one way in teaching persons and spreading the message. So we're really grateful for that, JDF. And thank you all for allowing us to come and share our little bit. Okay?
Thank you, Patrick. The collaboration is strong, and the competition is also strong, isn't it? All right, well done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on then to another partner. Oh, by the way, I see IDB here. Ben Rosette from the IDB is also here, doing a lot in terms of assisting Jamaica with the rollout of the National Identification System, which a major plank. Minister will talk about it, but December 1, watch out. We're going to have at least the first element of some rollout that the public can interface with. And certainly we look forward to that. Now, I was going to say her name before because I think I got it, and then I start talking and I think so. Janelle Van Glen Vagel. Man, thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for always having the MCs struggle through my very Dutch-sounding name. Senator the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Organization of American States, it's an honor to celebrate National Cybersecurity Awareness Day with you again, particularly in a time when cybersecurity awareness and cooperation have proved to be the pivotal elements in the pursuit of mitigating risks and threats in the digital realm, which more than ever transcend beyond cyberspace, impacting our daily societal functionality. While we can agree that good cybersecurity practices should be followed every day of the year, the OAS celebrates the priority attention that Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team is giving this month, as it ensures that the citizens of Jamaica are better informed, better prepared, and better protected from growing cyber threats. According to the World Economic Forum, cybercrime is considered one of the top 10 most serious global risks in the next decade, ranking 8th next to threats such as climate change and involuntary migration. It's estimated that cybercrime will generate $8 trillion in 2023 and could reach around $10.5 trillion in 2025. Fortunately, there are things that we can do to strengthen our preparedness against cyber incidents and to mitigate the impact, such as protect all devices with antivirus, enabling multi-factor authentication, choosing strong passwords, avoid phishing scams, shopping at safe websites, checking websites URLs, checking our privacy settings, and remembering to log off. At the OAS, we're required every week to do different trainings this month. And I have several weeks, as I was in a rush, which is why it's never a good idea to be in a rush and read quickly and click. I clicked and I got an email saying, oh, sorry, you failed the test. I have to go do some other tests again to make sure we protect the OAS's cyber system. So I'm prepared now, and I make sure I watch all of these that I just read. Although these steps may appear basic in practice, a cyber-resilient society is constructed through incremental individual actions that collectively create and secure cyberspace. Recognizing the need to build cyber capacity and resilience in the region, the OAS, through CICTE's cybersecurity program, is pleased to have supported the government of Jamaica and JaCIRT over the years through different initiatives, from CSIRT technical assistance to policy, workforce development, and gender inclusion, and even cyber diplomacy. All of this with the objective to bolster Jamaica's preparedness and resilience. Since 2016, JaCIRT has been an active member of CICTE's CSIRT Americas network, the community of 41 government CSIRTs from OAS member states. Through a 24/7 online service, technical assistance programs, and professional development opportunities on cybersecurity topics, members of the network, including JaCIRT, strengthen their cyber incident identification response and recovery capabilities. In particular, JaCIRT has received support from the CSIRT Americas team with the installation of an early warning system and the assessment of critical web portals in Jamaica. The result of this support was translated into concrete recommendations to increase mechanisms for the prevention and mitigation of cyber attacks on web services offered by the government of Jamaica and the improvement of the incident handling process. On workforce development and gender inclusion, the OAS CICTE's cybersecurity program organized the Caribbean edition of the Cyber Women Challenge in June 2023, a cybersecurity exercise aimed at encouraging women to develop their technical skills and get more involved in the cybersecurity industry. Additionally, CICTE, through the cybersecurity program, which I should say is being headed by a brilliant young Jamaican, has had the honor of offering Jamaica technical assistance with the drafting of 2 national cybersecurity strategies, which provide a policy framework to implement initiatives like the one we are participating in today. The OAS, through the Executive Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee Against Terrorism, is committing to supporting all member states in their cybersecurity efforts. This, of course, would not be possible through the generous support of our primary donors, the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Amy and Kevin mentioned some of the great work that they do, but the work at the OAS would not be possible without the support of their governments. Support for which the OAS remains grateful. We look forward to continuing our partnership with the government of Jamaica to strengthen awareness, develop greater capacities, and foster continued cooperation to create a safer and more secure cyberspace for all.
Thank you, Janelle. Really appreciate that. And again, the partnership is so, so crucial, you know. And it just dawned on me that so much work is happening, and we need to get more of this out to people because, and yeah, I'm a communicator, so I'm also talking to myself when I say these things. So the trust factor, we know, is a variable that we have to correct. And when I sit here and hear all this good work that's happening, then we need to find a way to translate it to our regular man and woman on the street so they understand that it's a system that going digital is trustworthy. You don't need to have your money under the mattress, as we still do in many instances in Jamaica, but that there is security in the infrastructure that we're rolling out. So thank you so much, Janelle. Really appreciate it. And now the man who's walking up and down, really working hard, doing all kinds of things, making sure JaCIRT is all right, explaining the whole concept to persons, and certainly doing the whole layover in terms of he's moved from ministry to ministry to ministry. But as Ambassador Meade said, you know, such is the critical importance of JaCIRT that the Prime Minister has said it must be housed at the Office of the Prime Minister with direct oversight by him. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the head of JaCIRT, Colonel, retired, Godfrey Sterling.
Senator, the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Miss Amy Tasha, the Charge of the Affairs, U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Mr. Kevin Aston, the Cyber Lead within the Caribbean from the British High Commission, Miss Van Glennon Vagel, my trusted partner and, well, e-friend until today. We met 3 years ago, but today is the first time we actually saw each other in person. The Cyber Year in Review is actually a silent film that showcases the different aspects of Jamaica's cybersecurity and the effect of vulnerabilities and cybercrimes on the Jamaican society over the last 12 months. So I will ask the GIS to start the video. I will step back and allow you to look at some of the metrics that we have monitored over the last 12 months that really represents the truest state of Jamaica's cybersecurity at this point. I will come back later in the day to video further.
Right? Okay, there you go. So in his true efficient style, Colonel Sterling said, okay, let me say good morning to the lovely, gorgeous people here, and let me just show them what I've done. Thank you. It was a very efficient way of doing it, and certainly in terms of rolling the information out to media, who are critical partners in this, I think they'll appreciate that as well. So thank you, Colonel Sterling, and thank you for the work you do at JaCIRT. Really appreciate it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker. I said that she'd take on to the work nice again. So she's been doing a good job since she's been there. Sorry, every now and again I do that. I really should stop, or I should probably do a class for our visitors who may not quite understand, you know, how we deal with the vernacular in Jamaica. So Dr. Dana Morris Dixon is a young woman, a woman who's driven, a woman who understands the critical importance of moving Jamaica from developing to developed world status, and the importance of how we can ensure that we do that digitally. She has a background in service, she has a background in academia, she has a background in transformation and digital transformation at that. And she's doing some wonderful work in terms of just how government is rolling out this digital transformation of the society, including leading some of our very critical commissions and guiding them into really what we want to fashion Jamaica in the next 20, 30, certainly the next generation. Because, you know, we all have one way out. But what we are trying to build is a legacy that makes the space better for those we leave it for behind. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Minister of, well, she's a minister without portfolio, but she has a big portfolio. The Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for digital transformation, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon.
Thank you very much, Naomi. And Naomi is our press secretary. She's Jamaica's press secretary. And so her being here and agreeing to be the MC for this event tells you that we want to have this message out. And this message is a very, very important message around cybersecurity. So I have to acknowledge people. I know everyone was acknowledged, but I have to do it because it's important to acknowledge our partners. Miss Amy Tashko, it is so good to see you, the Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the United States in Jamaica. She's a true partner of Jamaica. The U.S. Embassy is a true partner of Jamaica and all of its agencies. And you heard her make some announcements about partnerships that are coming. Those are absolutely invaluable. And so I acknowledge you and I thank you. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Kevin Aston, who is the regional cyber lead for the Caribbean in at the British High Commission. And he is working also very hard with his team to support many of the entities that are involved in cybersecurity. And we thank you. And he tells me that there's some big things coming later in the year, and we'll make some announcements. And you know what? Sometimes it's just support, and it's just saying, we think you're doing it the right way. We think you're not doing it this way. And that's sometimes what we need. And I thank you for that support. I also want to acknowledge Miss Janelle Van Glennon-Vigel. I hope I got it right. Who is the country representative in Jamaica of the Organization of American States that has already been a supporter of what we are doing and has indicated that the support is going to continue. Thank you for that, and thank you for the words of all those partners. I have to acknowledge Ben Roseth from the IDB. Where is Ben? Where did Ben go? Ben was here earlier, but he's a key supporter of us and what we are doing, and I want to thank him and thank the IDB also. Mr. Patrick Linton, the Director of Cyber Investigations and Risk Management for MOCA. I want to also thank the MOCA team. They're doing a fantastic job, and I thank them for what they're doing. I know that it was supposed to be Brigadier Markland Lloyd, but Colonel, you came in and you did a fantastic job, so thank you very much for being here and representing the JDF, which is such an important partner. I also obviously have to say and acknowledge Lieutenant Colonel retired Godfrey Sterling, who is the head of our cyber incident response team in Jamaica. And he is fantastic, and there he is over there making sure everything is running smoothly, and we are happy to have him in the office of the Prime Minister, and we welcome him, and we know we're going to get a lot of stuff done through him. I saw Trevor Forrest at some point. Is Trevor still here, or did Trevor leave? I was going to acknowledge Trevor was one of our key private sector partners. So I've done all those acknowledgements, and I did it because I wanted to note that everybody was important and to thank you for your partnership. So distinguished guests, members of the media, good morning, or is it afternoon? It's morning still. All right. Thank you for joining us today to commemorate Cybersecurity Awareness Day, a time dedicated to understanding, reinforcing, and celebrating the shield that protects our digital realms. As we step into an era increasingly defined by technology, our theme for this month, Respond Today, Secure the Future, could not be more timely. Respond Today, Secure the Future is more than a theme. It is our collective pledge. While the allure of the data age is undeniable, it is our shared responsibility to ensure that it remains a beacon of progress, unmarred by threats. Now, for me, I know that there is immense responsibility that we bear as the entity and the team that's responsible for digital transformation. But we are committed to fostering a secure digital environment for all, ensuring that our nation remains both innovative and protected. In today's interconnected digital age, cybersecurity is not just an IT concern. And I have to say that again, it is not just an IT concern. It is a societal one. Cybersecurity has ascended to become one of the most critical facets of the global infrastructure. Our lives are intertwined with the digital threads of technology, from online banking to telemedicine, from virtual classes to our everyday communications. Every single facet of our lives is touched by the digital sphere. But with such conveniences comes vulnerabilities. Cyber threats, if unchecked, can not only disrupt our lives, but can also erode our trust in the digital platforms that are so integral to our future. A breach in cybersecurity can disrupt economies, violate individual privacy, and even compromise national security. Hence, robust cybersecurity is not merely a technical necessity, but is a foundational pillar of a functioning modern society. Furthermore, the importance of cybersecurity extends beyond the immediate threat of data breaches. As technology continues to evolve, it fosters rapid innovation, spawning newer sectors and modes of business. Trust in these digital systems underpinned by strong cybersecurity is essential for their adoption and growth. If individuals or corporations fear that their data could be compromised, it hinders the evolution and integration of technology into our lives, stifling innovation and progress. Cybersecurity thus plays an indirect yet vital role in fueling the growth and dynamism of the global digital economy. In my State of the Nation presentation in the Senate, I placed cybersecurity as a foundational element of our digital transformation project. And the reason that we did that is because we understand that everything, all these ambitious goals that we have, will not happen if we do not embed trust. And in order to embed trust, we have to have people feel that their data is secure. And so before we do anything, we have to ensure that our cybersecurity systems and our teams are ready They're the best, and they can engender trust in our people. Because I tell you, all of what we're doing, the entire digital agenda, has nothing to do with technology, really. Technology is an enabler. Technology is not the end. I say it all the time. We use technology to get to a goal. And those goals are inclusion. Those goals are having our people feel like they're a part of this new world, this digital world. All of our people, all of our children must not feel that they are second-class citizens in the world. They must feel like they are a part of this new global community. And that's why we're doing the digital transformation. We're also doing it because we recognize that it's through technology. Technology is the conduit to which we're going to be more efficient as a people. We are putting more and more government services online. You can only do that and make it effective if people feel safe using that technology and using those systems that we have. And we cannot continue to expand on the digital agenda unless we understand the critical importance of cybersecurity. So that's why it's in the foundation. You can't build something with shaky foundation, right? We know that from our biblical days. We all go to Sunday school and we've learned it. So the foundation has to be strong. And cybersecurity is a key element in the foundation of this entire digital program that we are on. And that's why it ended up at the office of the Prime Minister, because we recognize that you can't have a digital transformation portfolio and you're not looking at these issues. So I put it in the same bucket that I put expanded broadband access, which we are working on, and expanded internet access, because you can't put the services online if people don't have access to internet. You're therefore creating a system for only some. And that's not what we are trying to do as an administration and as a government. This is a journey we're taking with all Jamaicans. And we know that there's some that are more savvy than others. And our role is to ensure that everybody feels like they're a part of the transition and the move forward. And it's for that reason that we're even rethinking our post offices. How do we use our post offices? We need to have digital support centers. We're using our post offices in the future will look like that. Because there's some people in rural areas who may not have access to great internet, or may be skeptical of doing things online. And we have to be able to help them along. But if they hear about breaches and all of that, even if we provide avenues where they are or near to where they are, they will not use it. And so we have these beautiful plans to take Jamaica forward in a different way, in a modern way, to have our young children wake up and think there is a future here. I can be good, I can be great, I can have a good life, a good career, and feel like I'm a part of the global community. That's what we're trying to build. And we cannot build it if we do not have that foundation. And that's why I spent the time to acknowledge our partners, because they are so important to that vision coming to life. Both the overseas partners and our local partners, the JDF and MOCA, very, very important. All of us working together is very important, or else none of this is gonna happen. And as I said, cybersecurity is not the responsibility solely of the government. And I think some of these here are telling you that. Your government's commitment to cybersecurity is unwavering. However, this is not a battle to be fought in isolation. And that's why you had so many people speaking this morning. You saw the video before. The video was just, 15 minutes or so of bad news. Millions of attacks each month. All of the malware that we saw, it was, the music sounded nice. But what the message was that we are under attack. And we are. Just as we've been having this event, there have been a lot of attempts at all of our systems, public sector, private sector. They've all had attempts at attack this morning. That is our reality. And that is why we have to put the systems in place. We have to put the money there. And that is why we are having something like Cybersecurity Day, because we have to do our part as government, but there's also a lot for our private sector and our citizens to also do. In terms of digital skills, that's an important one, and that came up. And in our increasingly digitalized world, acquiring digital skills has become as fundamental as traditional literacy and numeracy. And so some of these tips that we're giving that seem simple enough, they're very important in terms of digital hygiene, which is really the things you need to do to make sure that you are not hacked and that our people understand protecting their phones, protecting and looking at what sites we go on. So often we see something on social media and just click the link and it takes us somewhere, and you keep going down that rabbit hole until you don't have access to your WhatsApp anymore. And I know people don't like that. Our Jamaicans need their WhatsApp. But it's important. If we don't do these things, if we're not careful about what we engage in, that's what's going to happen. And so digital skills extends beyond operational know-how and being a data scientist or a computer scientist. It's much more than that. It is about how we educate people and have digital literacy about potential online risks, which are significant. And these risks include the phishing, scams, malware, or deceptive digital content, which is something we don't talk about. And that's one of the things we're looking at in our AI task force, which we've just formed. And the chair, one of the members was here earlier. That task force is to look at the good and bad of AI. There are good things, there are bad things. And we have to understand both. The digital content that you see, what's real, what's not real, that's getting harder to decipher. And we have to have policies and plans in place, and that's why we have that committee to help the government to develop an AI policy. And they're going to come back within a year. That ends August, and I'm a stickler for deadlines. So they know they're supposed to give me something in December. I saw the chair last night at an event, and he said, I remember you said December. Because we have to hold people accountable, you know. They're giving their service, though. They're free. But still, we hold them accountable in terms of delivering what we need. And so digital skills is very important and is a key part of our transition. And as we put more things online, as people interact with technology more, we are going to have to teach these digital skills, and even the basic ones such as how to select a password and it not being your name or I love you or something like that. And so we're doing that, and we're working even in HEART, our national training agency, to ensure that all courses have digital elements to them, so that as we train people, whether it's in construction or it is in something that's digital related, that they understand the need for digital literacy. Now, in terms of international partnerships, yesterday we celebrated National Partnership Day, and I'm the coordinating minister for partnerships. And in Jamaica, in the rest of the world, a social partnership has the government, the private sector, and the union working together. But of course, Jamaica has to be special. So we have those three, and then we added civil society. And civil society is not one segment. You have many people saying they're civil society, so there are many groups. And then we layered on the church. We added the academia, so the academic community, and we have the youth in there. And guess what? For good measure, if that wasn't enough people to try to corral, we added the opposition. So my task is to coordinate all of them and to have us talking about important things that are affecting our country. And we meet all the time, and we have side conversations all the time to try to have that cohesion. But that was yesterday, and it was about partnership. But today we're also talking partnership. Another level of partnership that layers in our funders from overseas, the U.S. embassies, the USAIDs, the OAS, the British High Commission, all of these entities are partners too. and they're helping us to get to where we want to get to. You heard about the need. When you saw all of that data there, we need a cybersecurity agency. And you heard the US Embassy say, we're here. We're going to help you with that. They are going to be working with the IDB to develop that capacity. So we have JaCIRT that is doing really good work. And JaCIRT doesn't just respond when government has an issue. It responds when private sector has an issue. Its role is to communicate to Jamaica about cybersecurity. It has an important role. And as you've seen from all that data of all the attempts at our people and our country and our businesses, it is important that we give it the resources. And that's the commitment of the administration. But as I said, with partnership, you can't do it alone. And so I thank the US Embassy. I thank the International Development Bank for working with us to set up the cybersecurity agency that our country desperately needs, and then to coordinate the work amongst all of our entities in Jamaica that you heard earlier are doing various elements of this. So this month and today, I implore each of you to take a proactive stance. And for our citizens, I say begin scrutinizing your digital touch points, your phones, what you do, by conducting security tests. They're free online, and professional digital assets, understanding where you might be vulnerable. There's lots of information online. I urge you to go to it, because it is important that we understand. Because by doing that, by interfacing with the tools we have online, you are responding today to secure your future. Now, implementing remedial action is not merely a one-time task, but it's a continuous journey. In our rapidly evolving digital world, our defensive strategies must be dynamic, evolving in tandem with emerging threats. You heard Mocha say, sometimes we see attacks we've never seen, and we have to go to our partners to help us to understand it. These cyber criminals are evolving. They're not standstill. So we have to continuously learn. And so that is really, really important that we continue to learn, because if we do not, then we know what is going to be, and it is not going to be something that is very positive to us. So it's very important, this area. Absolutely, absolutely important. I think my laptop mic went off, but you know, as with anyone in this sphere, you always have to be resilient, and you always have to have a backup. And here we are. Here is my backup right away. So that's how we have to do, right? You always have your contingencies. So if mine went, there would have been Blake's. If Blake's went and mine went, I had the phone. And if all of those went, we had the paper, which is my last option. I can't be the minister with responsibility for digital transformation and speak from paper, right? So thank you, Blake. And it says what we also need to be. We need to be very, very much thinking ahead, always, in everything that we do, just like those cyber criminals. And I spoke to you about the AI task force that's been established. With AI, it makes developing malicious, all of this malware is easier to develop because of AI. So it's important that we understand that we think it's bad when we see the numbers. As our cyber criminals use more and more AI, it's going to get worse. And so the work we talk about in getting that cyber agency is critical. It is now, it is urgent, and that's why we are working towards that. Now, in closing, respond today, secure the future is not just the theme for Cybersecurity Month. It is our call to action. It is a reminder that the actions we take today shape the security of our tomorrow. The future may be digital, but it's up to us to ensure that it is safe, that it is trustworthy, that our people have confidence in it. Let us join hands and hearts to make our digital realm a fortress impregnable to threats, but open to progress and prosperity. And I thank the UK government rep for agreeing that prosperity is the goal. And together, let's sculpt a digital Jamaica that stands resilient, prosperous, and secure. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I was about to dub you Minister of Resilience and Redundancies because, you know, once one went, then we have another one, a backup plan. And indeed, that really is the essence of cybersecurity, ensuring that we have the infrastructure, but we have the backup plan. We have all these things that will ensure that people can trust a resilient system. So thank you once again, Minister, for your very enlightening presentation. And two, I see some partners here, and I see Flo, Carol. Carol is here. Hi. And Digicel is here? Oh, there's another Flo. Yeah, there you go. See there? They're all here today. Thank you so much for being here as well. Minister loves partnership, and she has a big task. Once you have more than 2 people in a room, it's tough. I'm telling you. So, Minister, thank you for leading that charge so ably. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at the end. Lieutenant Colonel, I dub him Colonel, retired. Sterling is somewhere in the wings to close out. He said, Naomi, 1 hour and 15 minutes, man. All right, we took an hour and 18, and you will wrap up in 3 minutes. So it's an hour and 21 minutes I'm going to give you. So Colonel Sterling, retired, if you could come for us as we close. He tells me that there are some presentations that he would like to make as well. Do you want me to make the announcements as you are? You see how Colonel Sterling stay? All right. Let me start with Minister Dana Morris-Dixon then. The last shall be first. Mr. Morris-Dixon, if you could come, please. Colonel, if you could just do the presentation then. You can stay here so that the photographers can see you. Minister, I'm sorry, Colonel, you want to say what you're presenting? Sure.
So, in the interest of how we partner and recognizing that cybersecurity is a team sport, we have to really be grateful when persons can make the time to gather and to try to build the product, the capability, the capacity that we're trying to do here. Given the challenges, the weather, the time, and everything, I felt it fit that the persons who actually came and spoke with us this morning, that I present each one with a token, and I do so with the humblest of appreciation for your effort and the greatest wish that we continue to strengthen these partnerships as we move forward.
That is very, very, very kind of you, Colonel. And so our first recipient, Minister, Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris-Dixon. Colonel, no, Colonel, you have to know how to take the picture, right? Wonderful. Let me take this so I can come out of the pictures, actually. And then our next recipient is Miss Amy Tashko, the Charge d'Affaires from the U.S. Embassy. And next we have Ms. Janelle Van Glen Vagel. You know, can I just say Janelle Brown? Because every jump you have a brown, a white, you know. Janelle Brown, I'm sorry, no.
It's Shirley. My husband's name is
Shirley.
Shirley.
No, look at that. Mrs. Shirley. All right. Thank you, Janelle. Really appreciate it. Patrick Linton. Patrick gone? Well, good. Patrick's bad luck because, look, we have someone who is fairer. All right, Patrick is here. And we have Colonel Elon Clark. Fantastic. Have I left anyone out? Have I left anyone out? Kevin Aston. Kevin, I thank you so much for the term. I'm really going to make sure that we incorporate it in terms of the prosperity element. Yeah, it equals prosperity indeed. And in his absence, Ambassador Meade will accept it and send it to his office. So thank you so much. Colonel, we can close out so that I do not disappoint you with the time in terms of our starting and ending. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful audience, and spread the word. Be ambassadors for digital transformation and cybersecurity. Colonel will close us out.
Thanks again to our most erudite of masters of ceremony, or mistress of ceremony. Naomi, or NEMS, as she prefers to be called, is really at the top of her craft, and her schedule is probably busier than most here. I was more than pleased when she agreed to be the master of ceremony this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, cybersecurity is now. And it cannot happen if we operate in silos. As such, the task is left to me as your gracious host to thank you all for coming this morning. I want to thank Minister Dixon. We have had few passing conversations, but her passion for what we're trying to do here and her willingness to embrace the need for the involvement of technology really encourages, despite the challenges that we have to face. The Chargé d'Affaires, the U.S. Embassy here in Jamaica, thank you for coming. I'm sure Ambassador Perry would have loved to be here, but you were unable stand-in, and I look forward to really working more closely with you and the rest of your team. The USAID, Erin Taylor, a part of the audience here this morning, and the IDB that works very closely with that unit. We have things that we're doing, and it will bring great results if we can see it through. And one of the key tenets of how I hope to push cybersecurity is in a sustainable way. So it's not just about the project and the grand openings, it's about ensuring that the legacy can sustain itself over time. To the Jamaica Defense Force, the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, the other law enforcement, the JCF, both had to leave, but Colonel Clark is still here. Even though we do what we must behind the scenes to ensure that Jamaica's sovereign interests and Jamaicans are secure in cyberspace, there comes a point when you have to turn that action into kinetic action, and the Jamaica Defense Force, through the Military Cyber Corps, will be that spear tip that we must ensure is always sharpened. For cyber criminals and those otherwise engaged in the use of technology, the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency and the Jamaica Constabulary Force are our partners there, and we thank them for their tireless effort in ensuring that when we do identify perpetrators and bring them to justice, the evidence is so marshaled that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and their cyber unit can take it to a successful prosecution. To the Organization of American States, you are the wind that has carried us this far, and we really thank you and the SICTE team. You know, we had a very good engagement in the Bahamas last week, and you know, sadly, this week there is a ransomware attack in one of their government ministries. But we are coordinating, and this is the nature of how cybersecurity across the region has been going. Right now, of the 15, there are 4. So it's the Bahamas, Trinidad, Guyana, and Jamaica. But we support the others. For example, in Grenada, there is a cybersecurity incident response team of 1. 1 individual, 1 phone, 1 set of equipment. But as a group of 5, he has the support that many don't. And so that is the nature of what the OAS brings to the table, and what we hope you will continue to bring through your educational platforms and the courses, the mentorship. We're hoping to build capacity in a sustainable way, and we look forward to your continued support. I'm not sure if they make resident representatives permanent, but I sure hope you think of Jamaica as a future home. To those who have not been specifically mentioned, the service providers, we cannot be on the internet without your work. Carol, well, I see Donna has left, and the lady from Digicel. We work tirelessly with you to ensure that those who access the internet can do so safely. The academic community, I see Mr. White. I'm not sure if you're a doctor, no. But he would have taught me in my first degree, and Dr. Maitland is there as well. I thank you for coming. To say thanks to so many persons, it's almost impossible to do so in a short space of time. And so I will cut it, but I can't do so without thanking the Administrative and Special Services Division of the Office of the Prime Minister, without whose administrative and logistic support, this would not have been possible. And before I close, I beg your indulgence for one final act as I invite Naomi back to the riser.
Thank you.
Actually thought I was going to speak again.
It would not have been possible without her. I don't think I could have marshaled you the way she did, nor would you be as tolerant with me as you were with her. I thank you for supporting us this month and throughout the years, and I look forward to our continued partnership as we build new ones, strengthen the old ones, but leverage all towards a more resilient, governed, and risk-managed cyber ecosystem in Jamaica. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of the day.